Whew, 18 laws. That's what we've been doing together. 18 episodes, 18 windows into human nature. Into why people do what they do, and into why you do what you do. And me, I do these things too. Into the forces that are running underneath every interaction, every decision, and every relationship you have ever had. Robert Greene spent years building this book. And he said it nearly broke his health to write it. And I believe him. Because he put so much into these pages that was so uncomfortable to read, but it was honest. And honest reading is always more difficult. Before we close this out, I'm going to run through all 18 laws one more time, just so you can get the full picture and let it sit with you for a moment. So law 1 was master your emotional self. Meaning, rationality is not something that you're born with. It's something that you build. Your emotions are not the enemy, but they will run you if you let them. Law 2, transform self-love into empathy. We are all wired toward self-absorption. The one who breaks out of it, who sees other people, those are the people who build something that's lasting. Law 3, see through people's masks. Everyone is performing. The skill is learning to read what is underneath that performance without losing your ability to perform your own role as well. Law 4, determine the strength of someone's character. Character is not what people say. It's the pattern of what they do under pressure, and over time, and when no one is watching. Learn to read it clearly. As I would say, character is one's ability to face reality, and you must develop your own. Law 5, become an elusive object of desire. Absence creates desire. Familiarity kills it. The ones who maintain a mystery, who never fully reveal themselves, who hold a kind of power that cannot be manufactured. Law 6, elevate your perspective. Most people are trapped in the present moment, reacting to what is directly in front of them. Step back, see the larger arc. That distance is where clarity lives. There's something to be said about that one because there's a conflict with Law 18. You have to be able to elevate your perspective to make wise decisions that will impact your future while staying grounded in the present. So Law 6 and 18 can seem like they're in a bit of a conflict when they're really not. Law 7, soften people's resistance by confirming their self-opinion. People do not want to be challenged first. They want to feel seen first. So confirm who they believe themselves to be, and they'll open every door. Law 8, change your circumstances by changing your attitude. The outer world is a reflection of your innermost attitude, right? And that inner attitude is going to control you more than you want to admit. The attitude you carry into a situation, any situation, shapes what that situation becomes. Law 9, confront your dark side. This is the parts of yourself that you repress, but that don't disappear. Again, they go underground. They come out sideways in patterns that you won't recognize until someone shows you in the mirror. Law 10, beware the fragile ego. Envy is the most well-disguised force in human relationships. Almost nobody names it, and yet everybody feels it. Learn to see it in others, and learn to see it in yourself. Law 11, know your limits. Grandiosity is the failure mode of success. The higher you climb, the more dangerous it becomes to lose touch with reality. Stay grounded, stay honest about who you actually are. And don't let your insecurities drive your grandiosity. Law 12, reconnect the masculine and feminine within you. Everyone contains both. The ones who cut one side off become rigid, brittle, and incomplete. Wholeness is a competitive advantage that most people never develop. Law 13. Advance with a sense of purpose. Drifting is the default. Purpose is a choice, made over and over again. The ones who find it early move differently through the world than everyone else. Law 14. Resist the downward pull of the group. Groups make people smaller. They flatten, they conform. They punish the ones who stand apart. Know when you are in a group and know what the group is doing to your thinking. Law 15. Make them want to follow you. Authority is not a title. It's something that's felt. The ones who earn real followership do it by serving something larger than themselves, and they make others feel like they're a part of it. Law 16. See the hostility behind the friendly facade. The most dangerous people in any room are not the loudest ones. They are the ones whose ambitions are completely invisible. Learn to read beneath the surface. Law 17. Seize the historical moment. You are a product of your generation, whether you know it or not. The ones who thrive are the ones who understand the spirit of their time and move with it deliberately. Law 18. Meditate on our common mortality. Everything else in this book is about how to navigate life more wisely. This law is about why it matters that you do. Remember, you must die. And let that remembering make you more alive. Now, over the course of this book, I've had my own opinions. This is not my first time reading it, and I've read a few Robert Greene books as it goes. But reading through this book and reporting back on every chapter read has opened my eyes to a few different themes that he puts throughout the book. And now on the other side of it, given it's long and it can be a little dry, and there's a lot of really hard things in there, not only to wrestle with, but just concepts in general. I really have come to love and appreciate it. I think at the end of it, I may have chosen a different book to promote on the page. I would have given you something more hands-on to marketing and business. But the original intent was to start a book that absolutely can be applied across the different disciplines of running a business. And understanding human nature is absolutely a part of that in every way. There are some laws that were closer than others. There were some that were just good to think about, but not necessarily applicable to business, and some that were completely applicable to business. When I look back at it, there are several that stand out, but if I were to summarize the entire book, I would do it as this. You are here, and you're here for a short amount of time. So you must develop the character to live in your authentic self and allow that authentic self to become the fullness of what you can be. Take the responsibility, take the risk, go. Make the most of your life every single day, because by and large, most people won't. And by understanding human nature, we begin to put ourselves in a position to overcome it. And as by and large, as far as I see, human nature is not one to make the most of every day. It's not what the human nature doesn't cause people to be great. Human nature doesn't cause people to pursue dreams and do amazing things. A lot of it draws you back towards undermining others, being afraid, and hurting other people. So by understanding human nature holistically, you can take the parts of it that you need to change in order to achieve your dreams and understand the landscape better of how you're going to get there, because you're going to need to work with people to get there. So there are a few laws that stood out to me as like personal favorites. These are not necessarily in order, but they're ones that stand out. Elevate your perspective. Again, most of us are so deep inside the moment that we're in that we can't see what the entire journey is. And that's reasonable. Sometimes you got to take it day by day. We oftentimes react, we scramble, we put out fires, but we don't step back enough to ask whether or not we are fighting in the right direction. This law gave me permission to slow down everything that was telling me to speed up. And that's a gift, right? And it reminds me to dream and to pursue those dreams and make decisions today that set me up for those dreams tomorrow. Law 4, this one's a good one for me. So I'm big on character. I do everything through a lens of character, even though even mine wanes from time to time. I think it's the most powerful determinator of success. We spend so much time listening to what people say, and that's really a waste. Green is telling us to watch what people do. Not once, but over time, under pressure, and when it costs them something. Because that's where character lives. And once you learn to read it, you can't unread a person's character. Character as one's ability to face reality, because if you can face reality, you can always change to be a better person. You can take feedback, you can take accountability. And responsibility and accountability are predecessors for power and effectiveness. And character is a predecessor to accountability. So that's what I think. Law 13, advance with a sense of purpose. This one is huge for me. So I'm a big fan of Martin Luther King Jr., but I think that there is a purpose that we are all meant to serve. And I think they're all different, and I do think that they all come together. However, it becomes very easy to get focused on me and the tragedy of my own life. Again, I like the phrasing of, you are but a note in a symphony. You're not even the instrument, you're just the note. So we need each other. And when we see life in terms of purpose, it gives so much strength to our existence. It's Nietzsche who said, he who has a strong enough why can withstand almost any how, I think. Or what? How. So there is great resiliency and power in having a purpose. And drifting is easy. And drifting feels like moving because you're busy. And being busy is not the same as being directed. This law was about the difference between a life that accumulates and a life that builds towards something. So if you take one thing from this entire series, it would probably be this. This is my biggest one. We're going to cover 2 more, but this is probably my strongest. So know what you're building and then build it on purpose. So I have a huge vision of the future and what it can be. I'm not planning on getting there until 2055, but it's going to be amazing when we get there. And doing this series is a part of the block that is marketing and knowing marketing and how to market well. And that's a part of knowing how to do business well. And then that goes on to creating this grandiose vision. So living life with purpose. Law 17, seize the historical moment. Every generation has a responsibility, not just to itself, but to the ones coming behind it. And we talked about this one at length, and I do mean every word of it. Just take responsibility and pay attention. Do not wait for permission. King the next person when it is time. We're here because of the work of generations prior. And we have a responsibility to steward this earth so we can hand it to the next generation. If you've seen anything in headlines right now, clearly they're not thinking about 2030, but we can. And I do think it's going to be the millennial generation, that's the revolutionaries who turn this world into something that is better for everybody. Maybe I'm biased. And finally, Law 18. Meditate on your common mortality. Remember, you must die. Not as a morbid thought, but as something to clarify your thinking. So we are here but for a breath of time. And what we do with that breath is the only thing that counts, truthfully. So make it count. Now, this series has been it's been fun. I definitely like doing this. We're going to get into another book here in a little bit. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's been very meaningful. Not because of the views, but because of the conversations that it started and is starting. So, in the comments and the DMs, people who watch this, go ahead and drop your comments there. Let's start the conversation. Robert Greene wrote this book to free people from the darkness of not understanding themselves. And that's what I hope that this series did for you, even a little. And I hope that it also aided you in your business. And if it did, share it. Share it. Let's get the conversation going for real. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. You can always contact us at enochmarketing.com. We're there for you. Put this all in front of someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe if you are, or if you're not here, please subscribe. Just if you're not here, please subscribe. If you're here, subscribe. Find us at enochmarketing.com. Because everything we talk about in this channel, whether it be strategy, psychology, human nature, it all lives in the work that we do through Enoch Marketing. This has been fun. 18 laws, one human nature. For the record, we're going to start a new series on Monday on the book How Brands Grow. This is by Byron Sharp. He's a professor at the University of Oxford in Australia, I believe. I may have to correct that, and I will on the first video when we do the intro. But this has been great, y'all. Please subscribe, drop a comment below, and we'll see you all next week.